growing up as a tall girl is hard. Like it is.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's like if we can be a role model for like that girl who is literally like her knees are killing her right now because like growing pains are so bad and stuff. Like it's cool to be tall and like be strong as a woman. That's not even basketball at that point. Like that's just like humanity as a whole. Like it's gonna get so much better. So.
Yo, Kono with the rebound, they got 8 seconds to go. Move the ball right up the court, yeah, you know they ready to roll. Hit the outlet, pass to Patrick, put a move on them so tragic. Yeah, you don't want no static, McCaffery boys, they be like magic. This shit back to Kono, yeah, you know these boys is hooping. Hit him with the alley, yeah, you know he straight up hooped it. Now Patrick's hanging on the rim, yeah, he's got his feet up. Excessive celebration, McCaffery boys, they done got teed up. Oh man, they got teed up.
Okay, time out for a pop quiz from our friends at Vibrant Credit Union. What's the difference between a credit union and a bank? As far as your money can tell, absolutely nothing. So what's the difference between Vibrant and other credit unions? First, you can become a Vibrant member no matter where you work or where you live. And more importantly, they're the only credit union we know that built a full-size basketball court for its employees. Become a member or apply for a job at vibrantcreditunion.org. With the college basketball season now officially over, this is the time people turn their attention to filing taxes. People always have a lot of questions about their taxes. Maybe you're wondering if there's anything you can do to owe less taxes. Maybe you've got a little extra cash, you want to put it away for retirement, but you're not sure how. Maybe you're a student athlete with some NIL money and you want to be smart with what you have after paying taxes.
Wait, we have to pay taxes?
Everyone is looking for someone they can trust to provide answers and a game plan to help them make the right decisions with their money for today and in the future. So if you just want to know if you're on the right path or if you haven't even started down a path at all, reach out to an advisor at Lane Family Wealth Management. They offer free phone, online, and in-person consultations. Call 319-535-4525 in Eastern Iowa or 515-322-7971 anywhere else in the U.S. Welcome in, everybody, to Teed Up with Patrick and I here. Thank you for joining us. We got... what are we, episode 12? Episode 12. We got a very, very special guest here. Thank you so much for joining us. The definitely the MVP on Iowa's team.
You stole that from me.
I did.
The best player on the team. Make sure we clip that and send it to Caitlin. Definitely the MVP.
No, but the best. I think top 3, top 2, top 1 post in the country.
Number 1.
Most efficient, without a doubt. Monika, thank you so much for joining us. We're very happy to have you. How are you? What you been up to?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Honestly, the 3 weeks that we've had off, I've been focusing on school, kind of getting into the postseason grind. I know.
Really?
I know. It's depressing, but during the NCAA tournament, you only got one thing on your mind, and
it's not school.
It's not school. That's the last thing. So it's been good. I'm already ready for next season, so that's always fun.
What's your major?
Biology.
Hey. Jeez. A lot of labs and stuff. Like
hands-on. I actually dissected a cat this morning. So
what?
Yeah, I also went through a human brain. So
can you like do that and not throw up?
Yeah, I don't know. At 8 a.m., the smell is really what gets to you the most.
That would get me every time.
Yeah, I love it though. So it's just at 8 a.m.
No, I'm glad that you love it. Like I'm happy for you that you're enjoying that, but. I remember I think it was like maybe 4th grade. I think we dissected like a rat or something.
Oh, yeah.
And I threw up. Like I actually threw up.
See, we never did anything like that in high school. I wish I would have had like a gateway kind of. Like I came in and it was immediate cat, immediate human brain. It was just like all this stuff right off the bat. But I don't know. If I could go back, I'd like to say I'd do it again. But
threw you right into the fire.
Yeah,
that's literally cool though. That's cool. Like it's interesting that because like I feel like when you ask like like what's your major, like with the athletes, it's like business, like education. Like I don't know, like the that's the first time I've ever heard biology. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, I love learning it. So
biology was like the one subject in school that like I would like meet with the teacher after class and like still have no idea what the hell she was talking about. Like secrets? Yeah, secrets. Yeah. She like tried so hard. Like she was the nicest woman in the world, tried so hard to help me. And I would sit there after class with her for like 15, 20 minutes, like trying to figure it out. And she's explaining it all and I'm like, this makes no sense.
Yeah. A lot of it's like its own thing too. Like it doesn't make sense. You just have to, it's like a different language and you just have to like accept it and move on.
I accepted it and moved on and to never do it again.
Well, I think you'd probably choose to focus on basketball most of the time,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Like instead over,
it's a lot more fun.
you take
to
the
say the
basketball
least.
over the biology.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's very easy to go into the NCAA tournament because I know I can just kind of let that go to the back burner a little bit.
Absolutely, it's one of the best parts about the tournament is like you got Big Ten tournament, so you know you're going to be gone for like a lot of that week. And then you have spring break, like we have spring break, and that's tournament time. And then if you get to the second weekend, you obviously miss even more.
The teachers might honestly be like upset, like if you're not solely focused on the Hawks, and they don't want you to do your work. They want you to focus on the Hawks.
Yeah,
that's what's nice though about like athletes being, I feel like in these other majors, is their teachers like know sports. Like in biology, it's like, most of the time they don't know. They're like, I'll be like, I have a game. They'll be like, oh, you can't take your exam at noon. Like, no, I have a game.
Sorry.
Yeah, they'll be like, can you move that? No, it's actually been planned for a while.
It's on TV.
Yeah, it's a lot of times they're not as forgiving, but every once in a while I find it going on. I'm like entrepreneurship minor, so every once in a while I'll have like a really good like in Tippy who's like, oh my god, I love watching, like don't worry about it, like it's okay if you turn it in like 2 weeks, which is always nice, but it's more rare than it is.
No, the Tippy teachers definitely look out, and I'm sure the sport and rec do too, because
I mean, I can't speak for the Tippy teachers, but
the Tippy teachers look out. They always do. Like one of my teachers put on, I think it was like our Northwestern game that we played during the day. Yeah, we did. One of my teachers put that like on in class, and she emailed me a couple of them. You ever get emails from teachers with like support?
Yeah, one time
that's love.
They'll like screenshot like online news articles, like it's normally the older teachers, and paste them in an email and be like, so awesome, like it's so cool to see your name. I'm like, it's like the equivalent of your grandma like cutting out the newspaper. It's just really cute.
My grandpa still does that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my grandma sends them all the time from Minnesota. It's literally the Minnesota newspaper.
That's the same with our grandparents.
Must be a Minnesota thing.
Yeah, it's definitely Star Tribune.
My grandpa sent me an article the other day about how sleep is really important, because he's like, you don't sleep.
Dude, little does he know, you sleep like 20 hours a day.
Yeah, but I don't sleep. I don't sleep as well at night. And I always tell him that I don't need to sleep at night. And he's like, yeah, you do.
It's a vicious cycle. Sleep during the day, awake all night. I've been there, done it. That's tough.
All right. Well, anyway, let's get back to a little bit of basketball, just a little bit.
Wait, we don't want to keep going about my sleep schedule.
About your sleep schedule or biology. Like I've already had enough school today. I had an exam. Like it didn't go too well. So let's get on some basketball stuff. So
Big Ten distinguished scholar. Connor McCaffery.
Walk me through your guys' your workout regimen right now. What you guys are doing with the team. Like I know it's more chill after the season. Like I know we don't do anything until at least after the Final Four. Like we just started back up. So what have you guys been doing? What are the workouts like?
Yeah, we got 3 weeks off this year, which is normally we get 2, but I mean everybody was like in the gym after 1, just kind of antsy. But right now it's lifting 3 days a week. Individuals 2 times and then team once. So
nice.
Just trying to kind of squeeze everything in with the reduced hours, but it's very much so low key. It's more like, it's like take home homework kind of, like you know what you need to do, they tell you what to do and you just go home and do it. But yeah, it's really nice, but I definitely miss the like team practices where you're all together and like team meal afterwards. That stuff is always so fun, but I'm just glad I'm coming back, honestly. Like, it would have been weird for that to be, like, my last memory of Iowa basketball, for sure.
Yeah. We're going to hit back on that, too. But we're going to start a little younger, right?
Yeah. So just kind of, like, walk us through, like, I guess we could start with, like, when you started playing. Like, just kind of, like, how that, like, who influenced you? Like, was it your parents? Was it whatever? Like, just kind of, like, go down the line there. So we're going to start really early.
Yeah, no, I feel like my story is just kind of different. So my mom I needed something to do on the weekend. She didn't want to watch me on the weekend. She was like, you got to go somewhere. So I started doing basketball. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. I was like, what am I doing waking up at 8 a.m. on a Saturday? Like, going to the gym. And that just kind of like, I ended up kind of becoming tall, but I was like, I'm sure you guys know, like you're in the awkward stage where you're like tall, but you don't know how to move your body very well.
It's what my little brother's going through right now.
Yeah, and it's like, it's really the worst time. So going through that stage, still hated it. Get to 8th grade. Still, I have a D1 offer. Hated it.
Still didn't like it.
Still didn't like it, but it was just like, I liked the team. So I liked being on the team and stuff, but then I got in an accident, a 4-wheeler accident, and broke my leg. and my wrist. And I was just like, one of the first questions I asked my mom was like, oh my God, like, will I be able to play basketball again? It was like immediately. And that's kind of, I didn't know how much I needed it kind of until then. So after that rehabbing and coming back to it, I ended up liking it. And I was like, okay, maybe I can get good at this. I mean, then I never in my life did I dream I would go to like a Power 5 and have success there on a successful team. But yeah, it's been awesome. But yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, I've always loved basketball. Like, played it since kindergarten. I'm like, nah, I was not like that growing up. It was not me.
No, that's awesome.
Not me.
That's
me.
awesome.
What, so you just hit on your recruitment a little bit. You said you had an offer in 8th grade. First of all, who was that? Like, who offered you in 8th grade?
Yeah, it was funny. I literally had a broken like leg and stuff, and NDSU had offered, and they had, it was like a new coach and stuff. It's funny, we always say like one of the North Dakotas is normally your first offer, like one of the North Dakota or South Dakota, but they were my first offer. And then kind of going from there, it was a really weird time. Minnesota didn't recruit with Minnesota kids, and that was like a known thing in Minnesota. It was
Same thing happened for boys too.
Yeah, it was just a really weird time. Obviously, they have a new coach now, and Lindsay Whalen's doing an amazing job. My sister's there and proof of that. But so that was, I remember going to like the Gopher games, seeing how cool it was, being like, wow, like I wonder what it takes to do this. Like, what do you have to do? How do you get into this? Just kind of happened very naturally. But I visited Wisconsin, but Iowa was my only Power 5 offer. And so I was like, yeah, no duh. Like, I'm gonna go to Iowa. I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. And just, I mean, Coach Jay, her reputation kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I knew I got to play with Megan. I knew I would get good. I knew it wouldn't be easy. But it's also like the perfect 5 hours from home. My family can't surprise me as much as they want to. It's going to take a little bit for them to get here, but I can get home if there's an emergency. It just kind of checked every box I had.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a no-brainer for me.
How far are you like outside the cities?
I'm like in 45 minutes an hour west.
Okay.
Wait, what high school did you go to?
Watertown Mayor. It's like there's like 4,000. Yeah, there's like 4,000 kids in my in my town. Yeah. There's like 200 in my graduating class, but it's not too. School. Yeah, it's not too far. So yeah, I don't even think. I think even if I had a Minnesota offer, it would have been too close. Like, I'm just not that much of a home body, and I wasn't at that time. I'm better now, but I wanted to kind of get out, and I was like, the perfect small town city, I think, is the best way to describe it.
As someone who has been surprised by their mother when unexpected in certain sticky situations, I can relate to your fear of that.
My worst nightmare.
Interesting. We'll have to circle back on exactly what you're talking about.
We won't have to circle back on me. I'm not the guest.
No, I would love to hear more about Patrick's sticky situations.
What that is, honestly.
No, it was just a sticky situation. That's
anyway, okay, so we talked about Coach Jay.
Goat.
She's awesome.
And you said like her reputation kind of procedure, like everybody knows. I mean the history that of I don't even know of all players, guards, bigs, whoever, like everyone, and the involvement that she has with them.
Oh yeah.
How much did that matter to you in the recruiting process? And then since I guess that's another topic in itself, but since you've been here, how much has she meant to you and your game?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think when I was getting recruited, I didn't really realize, like, I knew how good Megan was, but I didn't have a lot of knowledge of, like, the history of the Iowa program and just kind of how good she actually was. I knew that she had, like, created Megan and posts were good at Iowa, but I don't think I really kind of figured it out until, like, my sophomore year when, like, she would just be she's so persistent, and that's what makes her so good. Like, you're going to do something 100 times and she's going to give you the same correction every time until you do it and until you do it consistently. And that's kind of my position is all consistency. Like, that's literally all it is. It's just reps. Like, it's fundamentals. You just have to get good at them. So that's kind of when I realized how good she was at what she does. But since then, she's just kind of I don't know, if you meet her, you're not able to forget her. She's just so caring. So great to everybody she's around, and she's definitely become like a role model to me in just the way she lives her life. So that more than anything, she just cares, and I think that's a lot for a player too. Like, beyond basketball, it makes you a better player, I believe. Like, knowing that what you're doing is for somebody who cares, it's gonna make you try harder and gonna make you do better. So she just gives that to everybody, not even just the posts. So she's an amazing human being.
No, you definitely nailed it when you said like when you meet her, like you won't forget her. Like that just kind of like she has like an infectious personality, like definitely leaves an impression on everybody. So I think that was like the perfect way to describe her.
Yeah.
She's awesome. So like I guess like kind of like following up on Coach Jay, like kind of a hard question because you don't know what it's like at other schools, but like what does she do necessarily that's different, like that like could say, obviously don't give away any secrets, but like
none of our top secret.
Exactly, but like what does she do that's like that like sets you, because obviously like it was Megan and then it's you, and like Bethany Doolittle was before that, and like it's just like such a strong tradition. It's like what does she do that's like different? Yeah,
I think that a big thing is, especially now, posts just want to be guards now. Like, I mean, we were saying earlier,
it's
like,
actually so true.
Big guard, like all that stuff, and it's like the cool thing to be. And I definitely play into that too, but not many people want to do back to the basket post work anymore, especially in the women's game. Everybody just wants to shoot threes and drive, and I mean, nothing I do is pretty, but it helps us win. So that's the most important thing. So she just like really embraces that. Like, she's not trying to make us into a post player that's going to like be shooting threes or dribbling. Obviously if we want to take those steps, she'll help us get there, but like she knows that's not her forte, and she's good at making back to the basket posts, and I've always been successful with them, and I think it just like buying into that role is huge for us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's proven she's one of, if not the best. I want to hit on this really quick. The other day on Twitter, Patrick and I tweeted at her.
Oh, I was going to say,
and you were going to ask this too? Yeah. She tweeted something about, I don't know if she tweeted it or if it was your marketing, you know, the Iowa Women's Hoops account. But they said, who would win in one-on-one, like Coach Jay or Caitlin? And first of all, I think Coach Jay would win that matchup. But I want to ask you, if you would have you and Coach Jay, like when you guys are working out, she definitely tries to body a little bit, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah. Like, she's definitely still got strength, and it's wild. I was in her like trophy room the other day, I think, like from her Drake days, and she just like, she was that girl at Drake.
Like, she's unbelievable.
She's a hell of a player.
She was that person. So I think if we have both of them in their prime, it's an interesting matchup. I don't know who would win. I think it'd be really fun to watch. Carver would be sold out.
What about you? What about you or Coach Jay?
Oh God.
Who's winning that matchup?
Oh God.
You could say it.
I know.
You could say it.
Okay, I would say I win, but it's very close. It's very close, and Coach Jay is on me the whole time.
Yeah.
I just think, Also, the style they played, she was playing like 6-on-6 or something like that. 6-on-6 at that time. So I think I have like the new school thing maybe a little bit more, but who knows?
No, that's definitely.
I know she had a motor. I just know if we had to play full court, it would be Coach Jay.
I mean, you have a motor too, though.
Yeah, you do.
I would say, in my opinion, from watching from the outside, I mean, I watch all of you guys' games. Mm-hmm. I think like what sets you apart is your motor. Like you play harder than everyone you play against. It seems to me.
Thanks,
like whether
I appreciate it.
like whether it's the duck-ins when I mean, you're constantly ducking in. Yes, because you get a lot of your post-ups running in transition, pick and roll hard to the basket, duck in, from the weak side block, and Caitlin, hits you, and you're constantly working for position.
Yeah.
So like I guess like you don't get tired either.
Yeah.
Like you're in phenomenal shape. Yeah. Would you attribute your motor to that, or is it just kind of how you've always been made up? Like you always just played hard.
Yeah.
When did you kind of add that to your game? I guess is that kind of motor, because it's a skill.
Yeah,
that's a skill.
Oh yeah, I just remember like literally our first practice, Coach Day being like, "You gotta get down the floor faster. You gotta." Immediately, right away. Like Megan and Hannah left for like some athletes in action thing, so they were gone. So I was literally playing the starting five. She's like, "Nope. You got to get down faster." Nope. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, like what? So I ended up working on that, like obviously got better, but I think the thing is you just have to be smart. I think a lot of posts are just like trying to be physical all the time, and that's exhausting. Like you can't do that.
100%.
Yeah. So if you're just smart with when you're like explosive and physical, like they're just not expecting it more.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing. Like if I can tell somebody's in front of me on a fast break, like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be like dead sprinting. But if I can tell like we're even or I have you a little bit, then like I'll give it my all.
Yeah.
So I think it's just more like being smart with it, which is definitely something like you get to know when you're more veteran years.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Definitely like being physical as me. Like I'm a very skinny guy.
Yeah.
Like I try to not be super physical because I won't win that battle very often. But It's so exhausting.
It is.
But like that was something that Luka was like really, really good. Like a lot of times Luka scored before he even touched the ball.
Yeah.
And like you're very similar to that. My favorite play you guys run to get you buckets is when they front you and then you just lift McKenna.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
Caitlin just like throws a little hook pass over and you just shoot a wide open layup.
Yeah.
You get like 4 layups a game off that. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. I think our coaches have done such a good. It helps when you have the same starting lineup for like 3 years. You really get to know them a little bit and how they work, but they just like fine tune it to perfection. Like all of our plays are gonna do something. Like we run that motion, so nobody knows what we don't even know what we're gonna do. So how are you gonna scout us? Like we have no idea what's gonna happen. So I think for the most part they have a lot of trust in all of us to just make those kind of reads, even when it's not drawn up.
Which I think is the ultimate compliment, like from a coach. Like I feel like there's nothing. I'm sure there's some things that are more hindering, but I feel like a broad one that's like super hindering to a player is if you come down and you call a set like every single time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like both of our teams, like very extensive playbook, but like a lot. Like I would say probably 65 to 70% of our possessions this year, Connor. You could maybe correct. We're motion. Like we just play. Yeah. And it's like you don't know what we're gonna do. We don't know what we're gonna do, and you guys are very similar with that. And I feel like that's why we had probably. I think we were Ken Palm, either number 1 or top 5 in offense, and you guys were the same way.
Mm-hmm. So it's just fun.
Exactly.
Not being a robot, like being able to just make reads. It's the best way to play, in my opinion.
It's like sometimes I guard people because I guard the wings. So it's like unless he's getting like a pick and roll or a DHO or like something like that, he's just standing in the corner. So I'm chilling. Yeah. Whereas like if I'm on offense, like I'm running around, going off screens, pin downs, flares, like all this kind of stuff. Like I might get a DHO, I might get a Boston. So it's like you just have to work so much harder on that end.
Oh yeah. Agreed. So much fun.
Yeah. No, it's always. I mean, the motion game it's made for smart basketball players. It's made for people who run and can attack closeouts. And you know, you're already running transition and you're attacking mismatches before the possession. Like the shot clock's at 28, and you're already in the paint and you're driving and kicking to Chris, and then he shot fakes, kick, whatever, and then you just play out of that, and then it's just easy. And it's
exactly.
just easy.
And it's like you get the big man or matchup we like. You get out of the way.
No, and I think that's why Iowa fans love watching both of our teams so much. Is it's just like it's so much fun to watch, and like personality wise, both of our teams are nothing short with personality. Like we just reek it. So it's just I think it's so much fun. I know that when I graduate, like I'm gonna be such a big fan. Not even because I'm an alum, but like it's just so fun to watch.
Yeah.
You guys are so fun to watch. It's just you Caitlin shooting from 50 feet.
Yeah,
like
it's wild.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Do any of you guys talk? Like, does it like?
No, I don't really.
You're too nice, by the way.
I'm tired. That's the
You're
thing.
too nice. You always are like, if somebody falls down, like Monika, let me help her up. Like
somebody's got to do it. Somebody's
got to like the Brewers.
Somebody like the word. You're way too nice. But what do you like? Does anyone on your team like who gets after it? Any
Caitlin.
fights in practice?
Yeah, I mean,
is there any talking shit like?
Oh no, never in practice really. I mean, we hold each other accountable for sure, but there's a big difference between our summer scrimmages sometimes get a little chippy.
That's
yeah.
That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
Like, okay, go give me a story.
I don't even. I just know that like
between who clashes.
I think Kate and Caitlin because they're such good friends. Like respect the hell out of each other. I don't know if I can swear on this.
You can swear as much as you want.
Yeah, they respect each other so much. They both. I've never met people more competitive than those two. So if they're on different teams and like they're shooting each other's faces, they're just like butting heads the whole time. And I just remember one practice, like you could literally feel the tension. And eventually we had to be like, guys, like shut up. Like the game is gonna be over soon. Like you guys need to get over it. But they're so good at like immediately afterwards, they're like, all right, good game. And it's gone. It's just like immediately dissolved, which sometimes, I don't know, doesn't happen all the time. So yeah, scrimmages, but it's so much fun. Like we actually, I don't know, I feel like when we play, we're very like respectful. I don't know, like of other teams, like we look very respectful, but in scrimmages, we're just like screaming, yelling, like kind of going crazy. So it's a lot of fun.
So when you play other teams in like a Big Ten game and somebody shoots a shot, you don't say like the guy to my left, hell nah, ever or like just crazy stuff.
Oh, I don't really say anything like that, but Kate always does like, I mean, she'll like the other team. I just remember one time we were playing Michigan. This must have been like 2 years ago. they were calling out a play, and like the refs were checking the clock or something, and Kate's like, yeah, Wolverine, guys, Wolverine. We had no idea what Wolverine is. They just start panicking. They're like, look, it's a close game. They're looking at the coach. They switch it to like blue. Yeah. Kate's like, yeah, we know blue too, and is like yelling it out and stuff. We had no idea what they were doing, but I was just laughing so hard. It's stuff like that. Like Kate does stuff to get into the heads, but I don't know. I'm tired. I said the post is exhausting, and I meant it. I meant it. So. Yeah, I don't really talk that much.
That was like in the Big Ten tournament where Dad called. So we have like a lob play we run against zone. I won't give out the call, but he used to call it at Siena Wildcat, and he changed the name when he got to Iowa. So Tony's dribbling the ball down the floor, and he's like, Wildcat, Wildcat. And I'm like, I was the only one on the floor who knew what you weren't in, so I was the only one who knew what Wildcat was. And Tony's like, yeah, Wildcat. I'm like, Tony, you don't even know what Wildcat is.
Wildcat's not a play. So like ATP, bro. It's not a play.
So I'm like screaming the real name of the play. And of course, like none of us are in the right spot because nobody knew what was going on. So it was just a total mess of a possession. Yeah. But it was just like, Tony's like,
actually funny.
Tony still thinks we have a play called Wildcat. He's like, yeah, Wildcat. P-Mac, Wildcat.
Wildcat, bro.
Now you'll have to put in a play actually called Wildcat for him.
We might have to.
It'd have to be an ISO play for him.
TP ISO.
No, and I remember we played a. I won't say the name of the team because I don't want to like throw that much shade, but like this guy, like the coach was just a complete ass. It was one of our earlier games, so it's like a team that we won by a lot. I think you remember who it was.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And they tried to fight us after the game.
Oh,
but
nice.
That's a side point. They tried to break into the locker room.
Oh,
thought Josh was.
It was Portland State.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
So, anyways, this guy, he's like talking to the kid. So, like, talk about a guy who controls everything, like controlled every aspect of every play, of every possession, whatever. So he's like telling this guy, like the guy I'm guarding, he's like, do this, and this. Like, he's not gonna know what to do. And then like, so the next possession, I come down, I was like, hey, like, how does it feel that like you call a play every time and it never works? It's like, never works. I was like everything you've called 70 plays, and I was like, none of them have worked. It's like not one. Literally I was like, you just told him to do something. Guess what? It didn't work. You guys have like 40 points at this point. Like, you can't score. I was like, so how does that feel? And he's like, shut the fuck up. Like, don't talk to me. Like just a psycho. And I just start giggling. Like, we're up like 100. So
up like 100. Bro, yeah, some coaches are a little bit insane. That's for sure.
He was one of them.
He was one.
He was.
Was that game at Iowa?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think I remember that game.
It was
I'm pretty
nuts.
sure I was
there. Ash got into it at the end of the game with one of their guys who was like trying to steal the ball from him.
Yeah.
You know, classic end of game.
Yeah.
Like they won't stop playing when we're trying to whatever. And so then Austin gets in and he's fighting, and then Jelly like.
Oh, I definitely remember this.
Jelly's getting into it. Like, Jelly's ready to go.
Like, do you know who the fuck I am?
It was his British accent.
And,
oh my gosh.
And so then, like, that's when there's people between us separating us. And then a lot of people, I mean, nobody saw it. Like, we go back and we're in the locker room, but it's still kind of going on because it's the same tunnel, obviously.
Which is, by the way, I want to publicly say, like, it's so dangerous that we share tunnels. Like we've had so many like super close calls with teams. Like, cause like think about it. Like, what if they get into our locker room?
Oh, we've had teams like knock on the door and like our manager's like, what? And they're like, oh, we want to see the locker room. Yeah. Like, it's not even like malicious for us at least, but it's just like weird. No. It's just like, what?
It's like there's been so many times like throughout my career where like it's not every game, but like you get into it with them like in the tunnel. Like, it's happened like I can think of 5 times off the top of my head where we got into it with a team in the tunnel. Yeah. And I just feel like it's easily avoidable. Like, just like, well, maybe not easy. Well, you got to build a new tunnel, but like I feel like it's worth it. Yeah. You don't want to melee in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Or do you?
Or do you?
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed. Josh Gondole wouldn't be opposed.
Yeah. I wonder how the new wrestling expansion's gonna look.
Yeah. I think they said it's gonna go out the other side.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't they say that?
They might need to put the visitors locker room
over there.
Yeah.
Paging
nice.
Gary Barta.
Yeah, put a visitor locker room on that side.
On the wrestling side,
no
please
more fights.
and thank you.
No more fights.
And like everywhere else we go in the league, I think the only other people we share a tunnel with are Purdue. But their tunnel's huge.
Yeah, it's way wider.
Like, and they go the other way.
Yeah.
It's like we go in the same way, and we're walking up the same tunnel, and it's narrow. And
that's a good point. I don't think we share with anybody either.
Yeah, it's just a bad idea. It's just.
You said it. Like, I was in Carver one day, and I forget who you were playing. I think it was like one of your earlier games. But like, I saw 2 or 3 girls. Your locker room was open. Mm-hmm. 2 or 3 girls from the other team go into your locker room.
Yeah.
And I texted Kayla, and I'm like, hey, like, just so you know, like, 3 girls from the other team just went into your locker room. Like they're just
Yeah,
looking in your locker room right now.
Yeah, she definitely sent a team Snapchat after that. It was like, guys, Connor just said people are in a locker room. And like, I knew our managers were there, but I'm like, why would you do that?
No, they
like,
were, because I remember I walked back out. I talked to Will, and Will's like, there were just like 3 girls from the other team in our locker room.
Like they could have just been taken. Like they could have went in, messed with your shoes, like
That's
been
the thing.
sitting on your couches. Like I mean,
like we should probably lock the door, but also like you probably shouldn't go into the locker room at the same time. Yeah, that's just very weird. So I'm all behind at Gary Barta putting a visitor's locker room on the other side of the tunnel.
So can we tag him?
He's got enough shit that he's got to do.
Yeah.
Marcos, you got us. Marcos is going to tag us, or tag Barta, at the end of the pod. Hey, 2 tunnels.
After 2 championships on the teams, I think that maybe it's in the budget.
Yeah. We gotta leave my man Barta alone. He's got so much.
I want to talk about budgets. How about our fridge is always empty? Theirs is always stocked, by the way. To the
Okay,
brim.
but that's because our coaches are on our managers for it. Like that is a big thing. So
we ration them. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I just remember, I don't know who said it, but it was like, yeah, we just won a championship. You figure the fridges would have stuff in them.
You want to know who said that? Yo,
Oh, it's you.
Patrick, of course.
I was like, we just won the Big Ten championship. But of course, I walk into an empty fridge. I was
Yeah.
like, what else is new?
Yeah.
Water? Sorry. Nope.
Sorry.
G-Loff, the guy who fills the fridge, one of our managers, was like, I'll fill it tomorrow. I'm like, that does me a lot of good right now, G-Loff. Like that really makes me less thirsty. Because you're going to fill it tomorrow.
All right. What was it like playing with Megan / behind Megan, seeing her dominance for an entire season? What was that experience like? What specific things did you learn? Any keys, things you take away?
Yeah, I think with Megan, I don't think I realized how influential it was really until a while after she left. But she was always asking me to go work out as a freshman, and I was like, for real? We're going out every off day.
Yeah.
It was nuts, but we would go in and she'd be making every shot in a row, and I would be bricking left and right. We ran a different offense that year, but still, it was bad. And she was so patient. She wouldn't care. We'd do everything together. So we'd have to make this amount together, and so she would just put us on her back and just
carried the team.
Start nailing. But even more than that, it was just that coming in all the time. And then the thing I didn't recognize was being in drills. She would go so hard in all the drills. And so going in after her, you're not going to be the one who's not going as hard, especially when she's setting the tone. So we'd go in and we'd be going hard. Yeah, we wouldn't make them, me and Pau at that time, but we'd be trying as best we could. We'd be going in. So
I promise we're trying.
I promise we're trying. We're having fun. So I think that's the biggest thing now, being older and kind of realizing that that's who I'm working towards, and helping the younger kids is just making sure you're the one going hard in all the drills, setting the tone. I've always been the tone follower kind of up until this year and last year. And now it's okay, you have to be the one to go out and do it right away. And that's just something that she's put forth. And I know that I've heard stories from other schools that a lot of times in half court stuff, people just want to get done with practice at that point, especially during the heat of the season. So that's been a big thing. And just she just had so much genuine love for the game that it made it so much easier for everybody to play. So I think that's kind of what I bring to the game into Iowa, is just having so much fun that people can't help it. Yeah. They have to join in. So I think that's what I bring.
Yeah. Well,
that's huge.
I want to emphasize and hit on the fact that, she was the National Player of the Year. That's not normal for her to be bringing you along as a freshman. You're missing shots. She's stalling her workout because you're no, I'm kidding.
But for real.
But that's special. Luka did stuff like that. Luka, he talk about setting the tone. He was kind of our guy that would set the tone in terms of playing extremely hard, working hard, and it sounds like she was the same way. That's really special to have somebody talk and setting an example for you as a freshman. That's how you build. How you build a culture.
I think it's crazy too. I don't know. I'm obviously very biased because I am a post, but I think that when I see a post like Luka or Megan win National Player of the Year, it's just it blows my mind kind of, because nothing is pretty. Not nothing. It's all the dirty work.
The box score is pretty at the end of the game.
The box score is pretty, but
box score is pretty.
Or Megan gets 43 and 16.
43 and 17.
Yeah, but it's all the layups and nothing is shiny. Like, I don't know, watching Caitlin play, like, she's able to turn so many people's eyes because of like how fun it is to watch. And like with posts, seeing the and ones is like always fun and seeing the energy, but like that's not most of what it is. Most of what it is like rebound putbacks and stuff, which is not what's drawing fans. Let's just be honest. So I think it's always kind of amazing when posts win awards like that, and just knowing what they do and like what goes into it. It's like extra special for me to see. So knowing that Luka like brought people along, and Luka's always been so, I mean, nice to the women's teams. Like he's always been like, I remember him and Megan would always talk. Like I talked to him. It's just awesome. Yeah. Through and through. It's a great time.
He's the nicest. Luka's like the nicest person I've ever met.
Yeah.
Like he's never been mean to anybody unless we're playing basketball.
Unless it's me and him kind of butt a little bit. But that's like,
but that's because of basketball.
Yeah. But like I call him the mediator. Like he's kind of like,
oh, I can see that.
He's like definitely like, unless he's not a mediator on the court, but like off the court, like he's somebody, he's going to be like bringing people together.
Yeah.
And like Austin's the same way, like, you know, bringing people together.
Did you say Austin's a mediator, Ash?
No, he's not more of a mediator. He's somebody who brings people together.
Yeah.
And like Luka is definitely going to be like kind of trying to chill out.
I was going to say Ash butts heads with everybody.
This is all off the court. On the court is a little different.
No, like I just remember like Luka, like they had this drill where like they throw you the ball and one of the managers got the pad and like, you take a dribble and he hits you with the pad. Luka would try to kill the manager every time.
Bro, that's the biggest difference though is we play against other guys. So like I have guys come in who are like 6'7", pushing 3 bills, and I have to post them up, and like it makes me better, but I'm just like, oh wow. Like I walk into practice, I'm like, here we go.
I don't want to wrestle with this guy.
I'm today. Like, literally, here we go. So it's definitely, that's why I think it's so crazy that you guys have to like play against your managers. It's a very different concept to me, like, or play against each other all the time. Yeah. Like we don't ever play against each other during the season ever. Yeah. It's always against other guys. Yeah, it's weird.
By the time we start like with games and we start like the scout team is inserted.
Yeah.
We've been playing against each other since like now. It'll be like from now until whatever. What is October?
Yeah. No, seriously. I go to Joey's camp every day for like 2 years.
So like it's just, you get wild. So sick of the person. Like it's so hard to like not hate them.
Yeah. No,
especially me.
Yeah. No, I definitely believe that because we'll get so annoyed with our managers, like playing against them sometimes. And I'm just like, I know if this was my teammate, like the same thing would be happening. I'd be getting so annoyed.
Yeah.
You'd rather be mad at the manager though.
Yeah, no, you would. And the coaches would rather us be mad at the managers too. So yeah, I can't imagine doing it like that all day, every day.
Do you like it? Do you like playing against the guys versus playing like in open gym or whatever?
Yeah.
Like when you
I love it. We'll like scrimmage them throughout the season, and it's a good game every time. Mm-hmm. We have guys come in who have like we had a guy who played at Wartburg come play against us. Like they're quality guys who we normally get to come play against us. So the games are good. And I just remember one of them, we were like down with 2 minutes left, and Caitlin just like, if you thought the end of the Michigan game was wild, like
she sent me videos of that day.
Yeah, she was doing some crazy stuff during that scrimmage. And so like interviewers were like, were you so surprised like at the Michigan game? I was like, no. I was like, actually I'm not. I've seen it before. So that's always fun going against them like that. But yeah, I definitely like going against managers more than ourselves.
Yeah. Now we're going to take a quick break for a word from our sponsors.
With zero sugar and refreshingly delicious, is Coca-Cola Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Find out for yourself. Proudly sponsored by Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Hey Connor, I went into Kimball and Beecher Family Dentistry the other day for a cleaning. Was your experience as good as mine?
Yes, it definitely was. I went in, immediately they got me in. I was in and out within 30 minutes tops. It was pain free. The doctors were great. The dentists were great. I had a lot of fun.
Absolutely. They told me I had great teeth and everybody was super helpful. So shout out to Kimball and Beecher Family Dentistry.
Yeah, they told me I had great teeth as well. So maybe it was just a thing.
Maybe they were
lying to
I
us.
think I have better teeth, but anyway.
Okay. Well, it was a great experience either way. Yeah. So thank you to them, Kimball and Beecher. Diamond Ridge Construction is a family and locally owned and operated company. Diamond Ridge does roofing, siding, and gutters. Diamond Ridge was awarded the best construction and roofing company in Iowa City. They have never received a review lower than 5 stars. They do quality and efficient work for a customer-friendly price. They do work in the Johnson County area, but are open to expanding. If you're interested in seeing some of their work, visit www.diamondridgeiowa.com.
Some of those pictures are really cool. They do houses of all sizes and have done some massive complexes. They are open weekdays from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. For a free estimate, call 319-800-7663. Again, that's 319-800-7663. So kind of feeding in now to the next part of it is so we talked about you and Megan. So now kind of talk about you're not the same position, but you and Caitlin and that kind of the two player dynamic that you guys have with the pick and roll, and then her when you run the floor, she's throwing it and she's always looking for you on your post ups, and she says it all the time. That's how I get all my assists is because of Monika. So just kind of talk about that dynamic that you guys share on the court, and it's super special to watch, but I'm sure it's 10 times more special to play with. So just kind of talk about that.
Yeah, I think our games just complement each other so well. I don't know. She's also a phenomenal passer. I think it works really well because I can finish pretty well, and she's a pretty decent passer, I'd say, if you ask the people. But if you ask the people, but I just definitely think anytime you have a post guard duo like that, it's impossible to guard because you have to respect one of them. Nobody's gonna sag off of Caitlin, so it gives me more space in the paint, and then nobody's gonna be able to just give me a bunch of room because otherwise Caitlin's gonna go to town. So it's kind of a great balance. And then when you realize that we have McKenna, Kate, and Gabby in our starting five, and very capable shooters, any of them is capable of having a night, it just makes it kind of unreal when I think about it in depth. But I'd say the thing with Caitlin is she's so good offensively, but her passing is just different. It just is. She knows where I'm going to be before I'm there. She'll pass around a defender, and I'm what are you doing? And then all of a sudden I'm there. And I'm I didn't even know I was going to be here. So I just remember it was kind of hard to build that connection her freshman year just because of COVID. We didn't get to play together really at all until the season. And I just remember that season was kind of hard. That was probably my hardest season at Iowa, just with the ups and downs of getting to know each other and stuff. And I think it just kind of all clicked with Caitlin. I remember the play. We were playing Kentucky, and I was running down in transition. And I was there's no way she just threw that. I'm the only one down. I'm fast breaking. I'm I'm going to have to dribble. Yeah. I turn around. The ball is 2 inches from my face. I just had to catch it and go. It ended up working out. But just kind of being able to get into each other's brains and read what we're going to do has been huge. But she's just a phenomenal player. I mean,
she's so good at passing off the dribble. And that's something that you don't see. Especially a lot of times in the women's game, it's she's she'll be out there dribbling, calling a play, point around, dribbling, and all of a sudden whack, boom, she'll rifle it with her right hand, hook pass to the opposite corner to Gabby because she sees they're too far in or whatever.
Yeah, we always say the pick and roll is so deadly because she's so good at reading it. Either she's gonna pass it, but she hasn't picked up her dribble yet, so then she can just go to work.
Exactly.
So. That's what we talk about during scrimmages. Caitlin will be screaming, "You can't guard the pick and roll!" When we're on the same team and stuff.
Caitlin's a psycho.
Yeah, she is a psycho. In the best way, yes. But it's just a lot of fun playing with somebody of that caliber. I'm just so happy she's here. I mean, I remember the day that she originally committed to Notre Dame was the hardest practice of my life. The coaches were so pissed. She committed to Notre Dame, and they were they didn't tell us up front about it.
Yeah.
But we knew.
Is that public knowledge that she committed, or because I knew, Connor knew, but is that public knowledge?
She post. There was a picture
about it.
I don't remember her ever announcing that she was.
I don't think
she.
I actually don't. I think it's public knowledge, but I
just remember outed it.
I might have just outed it, but I think it was public knowledge because one of the teammates there. Is it not public knowledge?
It might be. Keep going.
We'll have to. Okay, we'll text Caitlin after this and be
if she wants it cut. Yeah. If she doesn't care,
I think we have to keep it in. It's not our business.
Well, I just remember because I sent in our team group chat one time. One of the players there, I don't even know. It was their official visit picture, and it was just Caitlin in a Notre Dame jersey. I was this is so weird, but that practice was unbelievable. Everybody was so pissed off, and it was nothing we did. We were can you let us go? And it was just, it was bad. And then the day she committed, it was rainbows and sunshine and just everybody was so
how
happy.
Are you doing?
They
out.
I guess I'm gonna go get coffee after this. Just everybody was so happy. So having her here has been awesome, and obviously she's helped change our program, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, okay, I I love watching Caitlin too, but like this is a Monika podcast. Like let's talk about you a little bit. Like okay,
she's kind of been.
I want to hit
on that.
You've been deflecting. Yeah, I feel like you don't really like to talk about yourself.
I don't really do it that often.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I mean, okay, well I'll go with this then. It may give you motivation, make you upset. Mm-hmm. You don't get the notoriety in terms of awards nationwide that you deserve, and
she doesn't.
You don't like you. Like I remember I saw the Iowa Hoops account tweeted like how you weren't on a watch list for, I think it was Center of the Year.
Yeah.
Like to not even have you on that list is insane and a massive oversight. Like the numbers you put up with the efficiency that you do. What like does that bother you? Is it something that motivates you? How do you deal with that? Because you deserve it.
Yeah, no, and I know I do. I'm being very honest when I say it really doesn't bother me at all. Okay. Like because my team, like Caitlin gets so upset by it, and like Coach Jay and like the whole team that is enough. That they think I'm good enough. Like I don't need everybody else to think I'm good enough. Like I don't care what other people say. So as long as they like, I remember Caitlin being like, "This is so dumb." Like. Coach Jay is pissed. Like I had film and she's like, I can barely sit here. She's like, she was like so mad. Like Coach Bluder came out. She's like, this is robbery. Like immediately just like.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. And it just like knowing that that's my circle and those are the only people I need. Like that's kind of part of our culture. They are so mad that I'm not on those lists. They believe that I should be so much. And that's like genuinely all I need. Like. Nothing else. And my mom just gets she'll be like, my mom will be watching a tournament. Yeah, they're not as good as you. Like my mom will just be texting me. I'm like, okay, Mom, thanks. But I really like, truly, and I would be honest about that. It really doesn't bother me that much. And I think it might be playing with Megan too and just kind of like seeing how having players like that, sorry, I'm like going back to Caitlin, but having players like that brings the eyes to our game. Mm-hmm. Like I know our team, like everybody's getting so much better because of it. Yeah. So I think it's so good for the sport. And like I've seen women's basketball change so much throughout the years that it just makes me happy.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I think next season I'm gonna take to Twitter and I'm gonna be the official like Monika Czinano. I'm gonna start like the Monika Czinano
Stan account
hype train.
The hype train.
Like there will be no more oversights, and if there are, they'll hear about it.
This man's gonna have burner accounts.
No, I don't even need it. I'll go for my own account. I don't even care, and I'm verified, so they have to see it.
They have to.
Exactly.
So I'm just gonna. No, trust me. There will be no more oversights, and if there are, then they will. I might even write them a letter. I haven't wrote a letter in like 10 years, but I might write them a letter.
You might have to.
Very strongly worded letter.
Yeah.
It seriously speaks to the unselfish nature, though, of like how you play and how your team plays and like the culture you have built to this point.
Yeah.
Do you think, is that something that, because I want to talk about Coach Bluder a little bit too.
Yeah.
Is that something that she instills in you guys? Or is it something that, I guess where you all play so unselfish, giving the ball up, whoever. It's not like, besides maybe like an occasional heat check from someone, I guess like where does that play come from? Is that taught? Like, is that natural from the motion game?
I really think it's always been, even since I got here, like I think the year before I got here was when the culture really shifted in our program to kind of the sharing aspect. But I just remember like, who was it? Megan, Hannah, and Tanaya were like all big on that. And sharing the ball was huge because our post was so good. So like, the post never starts with the ball. So that was kind of the biggest thing. And I think it's just really grown from there, like celebrating the assists, celebrating the one more. We always talk about celebrating the one more. Like in practice, Coach Bluder, she'll be like, oh, like good shot. She'll tell you that, but she'll yell out like assist McKenna, like assist Kate. Like we're celebrated for the assist, and that's how we kind of get more recognition. So
I love that. Yeah.
No, yeah. So that's just kind of, I think it's even when we're not focused on it in our subconscious, like it's always there, which makes it so much easier for everything to kind of flow, and she does such a great job of putting it out there.
Yeah, no, remember we had the video, the power of the swing. Remember when we watched that, the Old Man and the Three? Yeah, that's like, that's one of my favorite podcasts I listen to. JJ Redick does it, and he had Draymond on, and we struggled like halfway through the year with some of our offense. We were getting a little stagnant. Like it was in like the Rutgers stretch, Penn State, Purdue. We were because like at Penn State, our offense was almost worse than the Rutgers game. I just made 4 threes. Like I made 3 of them. And you made 3. Like we had like 10 points.
Yeah.
But so like we were getting real stagnant, and we all came into the locker room, and instead of film, we watched a clip of Draymond talking about the Warriors and like the power of the swing pass, like swinging the ball, reversing it, being unselfish, like not catching, dribbling, put it down, like you're catching it and you're swinging it right away. And like Draymond, like I think Draymond, he's probably one of my favorite players in the NBA. Like I try to emulate him somewhat. I think he's so smart in everything that he does, and he brought up like a lot of great points. Like the unselfish nature that the Warriors play with is all about the power of the swing pass, and you know that, and it's everyone, whether it's Steph, Clay, Jordan Poole, it doesn't matter. Whoever's in that center spot up top, like they're catching it and swinging it. That's an unselfish play. It could be the pass that leads to the pass that leads to an assist, but it's just as important as the assist, like you talked about, like Coach Bluder celebrating that. And so, I don't know, I just think that's really important. We hit on Coach Bluder.
Yeah.
Give me your favorite thing. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's actually funny like that how this kind of podcast worked out. Coach Bluder has numerous times been like, "Mon, I need you to be more selfish." Like she will like try so hard to like get me to be more selfish. I'm just like, that is not my first like instinct at all, but it's just like what she needs from me. But it's funny because that's not something like most coaches would ask for in people. Like she just wants it, and that's been definitely a learning curve kind of.
She shoots like 80%. You should be more selfish. Like you shouldn't shoot 75%. Like you should.
If I shot 80%, I'd shoot it every time I do.
Yeah, you should shoot it. Like if you're shooting 80%, okay, if you're gonna score 80% of the time, like let's throw the ball to her. Like let's let her keep shooting.
Yeah. Coach Bluder's my biggest advocate, honestly.
Finance major right here, kind of.
Yeah, here we go.
I like those odds. I like the math.
That question obviously wasn't on his exam.
No, I wish it was. Hey,
do we pass to Monika more because she shoots 80%?
I'm telling you, like the points per possession that you generate is going to be, through the roof. I mean, it has to be. I don't know. You're just going to keep being unselfish, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You'll still score very efficiently as normal. You're going to rebound. But we talked about Coach Bluder, obviously a legend, 800 plus wins now. Give me your favorite. Obviously, you don't have to single anything out. Like if you have a couple favorite things, but one of your favorite traits about her, and I want a least favorite too. What's something that stands out?
I'm gonna start with least favorite.
Oh, there is. I like it.
And it's like almost kind of funny. So she is known for like stomping her foot during games.
Does she ever?
But then she turns and starts. I mean, I think it's a common thing with coaches. Will turn like if Addie did something wrong, she'll turn to me and start yelling at me like I'm Addie.
She coaches the bench.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, but like I didn't just do that. Like kind of makes you feel like you did it. But switching, the best thing about Coach Bluder is I think she always says kind of be where her feet are, like be where our feet are as a team. And I've gone on trips with her to like media day, and she is so much fun to be around. Like she is a blast all the time. Like no matter what we're doing, we'll go out to dinner and she'll just be like ordering everything and just like having so much fun. And I just think that's special. Like obviously I've only been in Iowa. I'm not like a transfer in or anything, but I know a lot of programs where they don't have that kind of relationship with their coaches, and their coaches don't like want to spend time with us. Like Coach Bluder will like give us shit all the time. And it's just like, and it's because she loves us. Like it's so funny. And it's awesome. Like nobody gives Kaylin more shit than Coach Bluder. And it's the funniest thing ever. Like they were just in LA and Coach Bluder's like, "Oh, you're lucky I'm here. Like I don't even really want to come to this." Like all this stuff. Like, and she'll say stuff like that to us all the time. But she's just a genuine great person. I mean, I'm so lucky. Our whole coaching staff is like that. Like I could go on and on about each of them, but she's just so funny and so good at what she does. Like she demands the best out of us.
Yeah. I feel like that really plays into like your guys' culture. Like literally I've never ever seen you guys like without a smile on your face. Like when we passed by in Carver and like I've never sat down and like watched one of your practices because we usually practice some whatever, but it's like I can hear you guys and you guys are super like energetic, whatever. And like I hear you guys like before games, like you guys are so like everybody's happy. And I feel like that's something that like you would think like, oh, like they're playing college basketball, they're happy. No, it's not, that's not the case. But like with you guys it is. Like you really live and you breathe that whole culture thing. So just kind of, we asked Caitlin the same question, but kind of speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of starts from the top down. Our coaches have so much fun with each other. They love what they're doing, and you can like feel that as a team. Like You know the feeling when coach, like, you know, a coach is looking for another position, or like they don't love where they are and they're just kind of looking for the next thing. Mm-hmm. They would give everything to Iowa, like everything they have. They have roots here, all of that. Mm-hmm. But I think more than anything, they're so passionate about the game, and it just really rubs off on all of us. And it's so fun to play for. It's so fun. Like, they get just as excited about everything that we do. And it just trickles on down. Like, I think it affects us captains most. Yep. And then we can just like amp it up to the whole team, and it kind of flows from there. But that's not to say there aren't bad moments that happen in the middle of the season. Like, we go through slumps too, but I think a big thing is just like acknowledging it when it does. Our coaches are very big on accountability, and they do it to each other. So like Coach Dale will say something to Coach Bluder, and they'll go back and forth about it for a while. And like, it could go really well. It could not go really well, but like, they know that the respect is there, and they both have the best interest in mind. So like, that's exactly how it works on our team. And we know that if we ever have a team meeting or something like that, or we're calling somebody out, it's a bad term for it, but it's coming from a good place, and like, it's all respect, all love. So I think that's a big thing. And it translates on the court. It makes it so much more fun when it's going well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think that culture's like maybe gonna be our word of the pod.
Yeah,
like,
word of the pod.
I feel like that just keeps coming up.
Yeah.
We just are hitting on like culture.
Well, it's like you were talking about like the highs and lows of a season, right?
Yeah.
The highs aren't nearly as fun if you don't go through the lows.
Oh yeah.
No.
Like the highs, like it's like it's like I kind of felt that way like my redshirt freshman year, so Luka's second year, because like we were preseason whatever, because like Luka's back, Weezy's back, like preseason top 5. It's like every game we won we were like supposed to win, which is like it just puts more pressure, whatever. And it's like okay, cool, like we're winning, we won a lot of games, we had a really successul team, but it's like I feel like it takes away some of the like this year where nobody thought we were going to be any good, and we ended up Keegan comes onto the scene, and we become like a real like a top 25 team to end the year. It's like in the Big Ten tournament, like the low, but we still had lows too. Yeah, and it's like the highs are just not nearly as enjoyable without the lows, and I think that's something. That
for sure. And I think that last year when it was like Kalen's freshman year and stuff, I think that season, I mean, we were winning games, but we were also losing games in the fourth quarter very regularly. Mm-hmm. Like, it would be anybody's ball game, and it would slip right through our fingers. And so I think that whole year was just kind of like a lot for a lot of us upperclassmen, but also the people who have like watched our team succeed in that level. Like, obviously we had a really great NCAA run, got to the Sweet 16, but looking at my whole career, that year was kind of in itself a little bit of a low, just like a grind trying to get through. Like, I'm used to like winning or losing like 2, maybe 3 games in a season. And that year it was up there. I don't know exactly what it was, but, it was definitely up there. And so this year, having done what we did and like getting to those, I remember in a team huddle, we were like, we're not letting this one go. Like, we're finally that team that's like not going to let it go right here. And so that was kind of like a big turning moment and made this whole year that much sweeter, having had the year before. So I completely agree with that. Like, it does make it so much better.
It brought on for me, like, and I want to know if it's the same for you. Like, I almost have like a newfound respect for like Duke, and that sounds like weird to say because it's not like I'm so far from like a fan of like never been, whatever, but like imagine like every game you go into and like you're favored and you're supposed to win. Like, where's the fun in because okay, Duke this year, Duke goes on the road to like Boston College. Like, Boston College is terrible. You're supposed to win that game. Yeah. Right. You have the better players, but like, it's still hard to win on the road against powerful. Like, these are good players, and they're trying. Like, they want to beat Duke. They might not care about Georgia Tech. Like, they don't get up for that. But like, Duke gets everyone's best, and like that's like how like we were. That's how you guys were. Like, everyone, like teams in the Big Ten, like they wanted to beat us. Yeah, like, they wanted to beat us because we were the team that was talked about. So like, imagine being that every year. Yeah, that would be tough. Tiring. And it's not as fun. Yeah. I like beating people. I like upsetting people more than I like winning games that we're supposed to win. Yeah.
Like, for sure. That's one thing too this year, like I think our whole team learned is that teams really are going to get up to play us. Like, I just remember all of our scouts would be like, the bigs can't shoot. And all of a sudden, the bigs are wetting threes in my eyes. And I'm like, what is going on? They're like, it's a fluke. It's a fluke. I'm like, it's not a fluke. That's the third one.
It's not a fluke. Yeah.
It's not a fluke anymore. Not a fluke. So we just like with the coaching staff realized that like even for me they're like, all right, maybe you need to guard the 3-point line like for the first quarter and then back off, like because teams are coming in ready, like they want to come in and beat you. So that's something that's been new to us this year. But yeah, I agree. Like the upsets are so much more fun. Like getting them from So I have a lot of respect for Duke in that aspect for sure.
And not just Duke, like, Duke,
any team up
Kansas,
there,
like because like the teams that are supposed to be, and like also let's be easy on that because like they have hundreds of millions of dollars invested, like way more invested in their program, like better for all of the above,
and everything is 6 one and dones every year.
They bring in one and dones, like we'll never win a recruiting battle over them. So we got to back off like on
the Duke love.
But in terms of like playing the games for the actual players once they get there and like the joy they get, because like let's be honest, like fans have no idea. Like they don't know. Like you guys lose to IUPUI at home. Okay, let's bring up that game. We don't have to bring up that game.
By the way, those girls were really good.
They were good. They were like a 10 seed.
They competed. They took Michigan to overtime. Like
but those girls were good.
Our fans would have no idea. Like they have no, and it's not a dig on them. No one knows. It's not like fans go into a game and they like are doing homework on IUPUI before you play them. But like, oh hey, by the way, they're good. Like we could play. This year we could have played South Dakota State. And we could have played IUPUI on the men's side, and not a single one of our I shouldn't say not a single one, but most of our fans would not be able to pick who the better team was. South Dakota State was like 34-2. And IUPUI was like 2-34. And like they would have had no idea. So like you lose to one of them, they have the same reaction. And it's,
totally.
It was the same. Like I saw a lot of hate after you guys lost to IUPUI. I'm like, okay, first of all, let's be easy. Like they took Michigan to overtime just last week. I knew that. Because I think you told me. We were in the training room before the game, and I was just talking about. And so we were talking about that. You're like, no, they're good. Like we gotta be ready. And then sure enough, they're a 10 seed in the tournament. Like and they're
competing.
Very good. They're competing. Like they're good players. They're well coached. They had a game plan. They scouted you. Like all of the above. It's just different.
It's very different. And those teams just really like non-conference can really be sneaky. That's what I've figured out. These teams this is like their national championship. So like, why wouldn't they get up for it?
Oh, exactly.
And I mean, honestly, I think and it was crazy because Caitlin was over at our house like last night because they were studying for the exam that apparently didn't go well. But anyways, she was saying like it's honestly like good that like people are hating or whatever or being negative because it's like shows that like they care. So it's honestly good for the women's game, like for people to be saying stuff like that because like okay, that means the audience is growing, people are passionate, and it's like
no, that's true.
Obviously we wouldn't want like anybody to say anything disrespectful or whatever, but it's like it's good in that sense where it's like okay, like the game's growing, and at the end of the day that's what you want, right?
That's totally true. After we lost to Creighton, I just remember like as Iowa women's basketball or even like women's collegiate sports, I was like seeing my first set of like I'm sure you guys are so used to it, but like first set of like negative comments like towards us, and I was like, I was like, I was just like, what? And at first, obviously, I was like distraught, like I was like, oh my god, like everybody hates me, whatever. Obviously, not everybody hates me, obviously not, but yeah, it took a little bit, obviously, after that loss, but like. People care enough, like they're getting on their phones and tweeting at us, like they are invested. So I completely agree with Caitlin in that.
It's my favorite when people tweet at me that they want me to die. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I didn't get any of those, but I was like, wow. I just remember like I even like called Spencer and I was like, I don't know how you do it.
Oh
like
God,
his
he
are
gets
brutal.
It the worst.
Yeah,
he gets it the worst. Him and Alex too. Like it
actually makes me feel sick. No. Like I feel sick after football games.
Like Connor and I both have gotten it pretty bad, but like like with Spencer, like if you were to like search his name or something after a game or whatever on Twitter, I'm sure it's just so. Horrifying.
I've like almost got into bar fights over it.
Yeah.
I get so pissed.
No, I've gotten so many arguments with people too because it's like I'm always going to defend like because it's like
and it's like 18 to 22 year olds.
Exactly.
Like really?
Yeah.
They have no idea. Like,
no, I always fight with people about stuff like that because it's like you have no idea. Like I'm sure like we want to talk about like Spencer, didn't he break like every quarterback record in the state of California in high school? Like, promise you're not better than him. I promise.
Yeah.
No.
It's just it's wild.
I wonder who takes. I think he takes the most at the university.
Yeah.
I would say it's like him. I think J-Bo's like 1A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like J-Bo gets some hate now.
J-Bo gets some hate. But J-Bo's also way more active.
Oh, he gives it back.
That's true.
That's
the thing about J-Bo is like that's
Spencer.
why, because J-Bo kind of created it for him. You know what I'm saying?
Even just like not even talking about like basket, like he's just more active on social media.
Right.
Than Spencer is, like not even in a good or bad way, like in a neutral way. He just posts more.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
No, J-Bo. I mean, you're right. Like he's very active.
Like we're at Iowa State, and like every time he touches the ball, they're just chanting Bohannon.
Yeah, like the whole game.
The entire game. I'm like, yo, like
like OD. His family's in the first row.
That's
like,
so messed up.
Hey, yo. Like I'm like,
hey, yo.
I'm like looking back. I'm like, this is terrible. Like,
I was like, that's so
the whole arena, 15,000 people.
Yeah.
Screaming every time you
like
touch the ball.
80-year-old like grandmas.
Yeah, it's just
Bohannon. Like what are we doing?
yeah.
Like,
It's just people forget like truly that we are college kids. Like and as much as I love like everything, I feel like especially in Iowa we're like professional athletes. Like there's more of that because we don't have any pro sport teams, and it's literally the best of both worlds. Like when it's going good, but sometimes it flips. But I think we are just, I don't know. I've seen people get a lot of hate.
it's like you lose a couple, and it's like, oh, like
Yeah.
nobody on their team is a Big Ten basketball player.
Yeah. It's like no we are.
like Tony has a bad game. Like let's say Tony, because like Tony Perkins, like I'm just gonna throw him out there because I was with him earlier and he's really funny. So, like he gets like 14 and 16 back-to-back games against like Purdue and like at Purdue and Illinois at home, and then against Iowa State he had like 7 and went 3 for 10. Everybody, he's terrible. Well, what? Like did you forget to like the 2 games where he was unbelievable?
Yeah.
Just played great.
Yeah, but honestly, like the highs are so much high. It's when we sold out Carver, like that was the coolest thing I've ever been a part of. That was as much as like, and when I say we got hate, I'm talking like the littlest stuff ever. Having that many people in Carver supporting you is just like the wildest thing. And we never experienced that. Like you guys have sold out games before, but that was like the first time for us kind of having gone through it, and just like running out of the tunnel and hearing that many people is just like, there's literally no comparison.
No,
It's so fun.
It's like a natural high.
Yeah.
You can't, like,
What does it say about, in your opinion, like the direction of the women's game?
Oh, I think it's
exponential.
it's soaring. And I think the reason that, I don't know, we see it more in Iowa is because people, like, there's so few sports teams, I guess, is like people have more, we're drawing more attention to it, and people are being able to see the women's sport more. But I think it just shows like it's going to happen here first, but it's going to start happening in like all the places with pro sports and like with all these other things going on too. Yeah. And I think like the women's, I like started a blog about the tournaments for one of my independent studies, and the women's national championship was on the same time as the Grammys, and it still went up like, I think it was like 19% viewership, and that's competing with the Grammys.
And the thing is, it would have been way higher if Will Smith didn't punch Chris Rock.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was just like the fact that it's still having that upward trajectory, and like every year it's getting a little bit better. Part of me is just like frustrated. Like every year I feel like we're doing a little bit more for the women's game. Like why don't we just cut it and just do it all in one year?
Seriously.
Like every year it's just going so slow. I'm like, you could handle this very quickly if you just did it. But but it's good seeing it, the trajectory it's going in, and like even with NIL being passed, I feel like in our 4 years, even it's just like things have changed so much. So it's been cool to see in the sport for sure.
No, like the representation is like so huge. You have like little girls in their parking lot doing the mic and drill because they want to be like Monika Czinano or Megan Gustafson, and you got girls like saying you just want to be like Caitlin Clark, and like, I don't think that it can possibly be overstated like how important that is.
Oh yeah,
like not only just for the growth of the women's game, but like just the growth of just women, everything. And it
didn't
general.
Used to be like that.
Oh no, and it's just it's so cool like being those people for little girls, especially like, I don't know, women drop out of sports so much more often than men do just because of opportunities and stuff. But I think another thing with basketball that like all of us posts talk about all the time is growing up as a tall girl is hard. Like it is. I
believe it.
Yeah, it's a challenge, especially like when you come from, a lot of us posts come from smaller towns and stuff. So it's like if we can be a role model for like that girl who is literally like her knees are killing her right now because like growing pains are so bad and stuff, like it's cool to be tall and like be strong as a woman and like all that kind of stuff. And I think the more people who see that and like recognize that, it's just gonna, that's not even basketball at that point. Like that's just like humanity as a whole. Like it's gonna get so much better. So it's really cool to see the needle being turned in that direction.
Yeah. It's not even like, oh, like if you work really hard at this, you're going to be Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Because you're probably not. But it's like, if you work really hard at something, you could be the Caitlin Clark or the Monika Czinano of something else.
Of something like that. Yeah.
It gives them like the kind of inspiration that they need to just kind of move forward. And like that can't possibly be overstated.
Just
like
that
how
drive.
important that is.
Oh, for sure.
You guys are paving the way.
Exactly.
Paving the way, without a doubt. And it's just going to keep getting better. 2 more questions.
Yes.
One, we have to hit on this, and because it came to my mind when you brought up Big Ten Media Day.
Oh, yeah.
So it was you, Caitlin, and then Jabo and I.
Yep.
And we're on the plane with Coach Bluder and my dad. Coach Bluder was, I think she was on her iPad doing something. But that's probably one of the first times you've been around my dad for
him.
like an extended period of time. Dude, Monika was cracking up.
I love
I'm talking
Fran.
like she was so weak. Like the whole trip, just kept laughing.
Oh my
She
God.
and Caitlin, he also had jokes. Like he was on a roll. He just kept going.
He gets in those modes. I kind of wanted to get him like that when he was on the pod last week.
I know.
He was so funny and just like, I don't know. I'd never really talked. Here's the thing with Fran. He seems like such an unobtainable figure. Like when you're just like a student at Iowa. Like I've even like seen him before media day, but was never like obviously close with him or anything. But he was just cracking jokes. And I just remember I asked Coach Bluder to be in a TikTok, and I like went up to him and I was like, Fran, like, come on, will you do this TikTok with me? And he's like, what am I worth to you? Like, now the NIL's been passed, and he was just cracking me up. And now every time like I see him in the hallway, we'll talk, and I'll be like, let me know when you need me to step into a scrimmage, because like I can show these boys what's up. And he's like, we need you bad. Like he's always just shooting it. So he's so funny. He's one of my favorite people.
The only person who could successfully get my father into a TikTok is my sister.
Yeah.
The only person. Like,
And still probably not.
and still, yeah. Like Joe Biden couldn't get my father into a TikTok.
He was like, is there dancing? I'm like, yeah. He's like, nope.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. He was
no.
killing me the whole trip. I love that.
He
man.
was on one that entire trip. I don't know what it was about. He was in a
so
great
funny.
mood.
Just
Like
get his personality going for media day.
Yeah.
like I think Bluder a couple of times, like she's just like rolling her eyes. Like she's like, this guy's out of his mind.
It's so funny because Bluder can be so much like more chill, and I feel like Fran, once you like crack him up, is very like animated and just so funny. So Bluder was just like, I mean, afterwards she was like, "What'd you guys think?" And we were like, "We had so much fun. Like it was such a good time." So yeah, I love Fran.
I get to go this year and we can run it back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I need a T-shirt when I go. Like I heart Fran, like, right on the front.
more than two people from each team, and then they're like, you guys can just.
Oh, we got to get a different plane that time.
You guys can hang out. Oh yeah.
Caitlin and I were literally sitting. So you, J-Mo, and the coaches were all
asleep on each other.
Yeah,
You're
we were
like
falling
this.
asleep on each other. My knees are literally in my chest. Coach Bluder's like, we're getting a different plane next year. I was like, thank God.
The plane was so small.
Yeah.
But like, it's not like I sat across from my dad.
Yeah.
And we were like,
Yeah, and you guys are,
like,
well, I mean, it makes sense. Like, you guys are all big guys. Like, you guys would have died if you were where I was.
You probably could have switched with J. Like, realistically, you should have switched with J-Bo.
But I just.
You should have switched. But like, I don't know if J-Bo's giving up that seat.
I wouldn't have done that.
I don't know.
I would never have been able to do that.
The thing is, anybody else would have given it up, but Jordan, like, I'm not so sure.
It's okay. I survived. I'm okay.
You could sit back there.
It humbled. It humbled me.
Ride.
So
it
yeah.
was an uncomfortable ride.
Yeah.
Those planes are small.
But yeah, hopefully next year we go to dinner together, all of us.
It was on a PJ, so like,
It was.
we gotta be.
It was on a PJ.
We gotta be easy.
We have to be very, very grateful. Yeah.
All right, last thing before we're done. Obviously, we have to cover the championship run.
Yeah.
And the tournament.
We do.
We have to. So you get the bye.
Yeah.
You get the double bye.
Yeah.
And a meet off rip. Like I would say that first half against Northwestern, right?
Yeah.
You played Northwestern first.
Yep.
You guys were. I mean, it just seemed like it kind of maybe took you a little bit to get into it. They play that funky defense.
Yep.
You know, but like you guys got going, and then from there, like you dominated the whole tournament.
Kate Martin
Caitlin
dominated.
had 45.
Kate Martin.
Kate was
Kate
phenomenal.
Martin.
Give me
Mic
your
drop.
synopsis of the entire
Okay.
the celebration.
Yep.
Hey, give me everything. I want to hear all the stories.
First thing, I think in the Big Ten tournament, you guys could probably speak on this too. The first game is the hardest, and it's especially hard when you have buys because the other team's used to the gym. So you go in, and we're playing Northwestern, who plays a funky defense. We've always had trouble playing Northwestern. Like, they're so good, and they had Veronica Burton. Once we finally got that flowing, it was a completely different story. Once we found out we were playing Nebraska, we were so excited. There was a video that came out, and Nebraska was like, we've been wanting another crack at them, like all this stuff. And so we're like, all right, here you go. And so like that was the best thing that could have happened, because I feel like with those games, it's almost so hard to get to the championship because you can't think ahead too much. Like, you know what's there. So that was like the best thing Nebraska could have done, honestly. Going to the championship game, Indiana we didn't even need to look at a scout at that point. Like, at that point, you know everything. Both teams know the play calls. It's just like who's going to execute it more. Yeah. And I just think that people stepped up in that game. First of all, Kate Martin in the tournament was
round
of applause.
Round of applause for Kate Martin in the tournament. Like,
Kate was hooping.
Yep.
She was doing off of 1 foot fades.
Joey.
She was like off of 1 foot fades, crossovers, like, and she was working at that stuff in practice, and I was like, she's doing post moves. I'm like, when is she gonna use a post move in a game? All of a sudden, she's getting Grace Berger on a step through, and I'm literally walking. She runs back doing the stank face, like,
you're gassing.
She's just so animated. It was so fun.
Kate Martin, I think, is my favorite player on their team.
Oh, she's my favorite player. She's my favorite player on the team too.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna start my Monika Czinano hype train. I might start it like tomorrow.
Yes.
To just get him going, like, hey, at whoever votes for anything, like, if you leave her off, like, you're gonna get a letter. But like, Kate, like, and the thing is, I think Kate has, like, Kate. I remember I played 3-on-3 with Kate, like, right when we got here. I think you were in that game too, and like, Kate's got some dude, like, no, like Kate's like shooting like off the dribble crossover, boom, step back, like jumpers, and I'm like, dude, she's nice, but I feel like she sacrifices a lot, like, just because you guys have so many good players.
She's the glue guy.
She's a glue guy. If we had our same starting lineup, but Kate wasn't in it, we wouldn't be nearly as good. And that's like the significance that she brings to it. And now we're like getting off of the question, but she brings so much to like our starting lineup. It's like she just has that thing that you can't coach. And it's just like, it's there and it's innate. She brings it every time. But like, I was so happy that in the tournament, people saw it, and like people saw the work she was putting in, and she was like doing all that fun stuff. Her family was first in the front row, so that was super awesome. And I think just in the span of that tournament, everybody like had a moment. Like Caitlin really went off during Nebraska. Like, I had a really good game against Indiana. Kate like was very consistent throughout the whole thing. Like, everybody had a moment, and that's what kind of made it so much more sweet. But in the last minute, we're like, guys, should we dogpile? Guys, do we dogpile?
Yes.
We're like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, I'll take one for the team. Like, I'm at the bottom. We all just start like falling left and right. It was so much fun. And I obviously had one in 2019 and didn't really play like many active minutes on that team. Like, it was still special.
Yeah.
But this one, having like played all that amount and like knowing that I really contributed to it, was just even more special. So
Yeah, absolutely.
It was so awesome.
What was the celebration like in the locker room afterwards? Like, give me.
Oh, we were going nuts in the locker room. Yeah.
So were we.
Yeah, it was wild. I know the Big Ten committee, whatever, is mad they had to clean up the locker room.
It's a lot of cleaning. A lot of cleaning. They had
a lot of cleaning, but yeah, we were all just so fun. Like,
it's well worth it.
So wound up afterwards. It was so. But then the thing is, when you get back, you're so tired that it's like so hard to celebrate beyond that. Especially with you guys. Like, you played more. Yeah.
Fucking day.
Yeah. It's so hard.
Seriously.
That was so fun about like regular season. It's one game. Like, you have a lot of juice left, like, to celebrate. After the tournament, we were like, all right, we're going to bed. Like, see you guys later. Like, it is so exhausting. And you guys even had more games than we did.
Yeah, we didn't get the double bye. You guys got the bye, which is better. But
of course, everything happened to where like we wouldn't get a double bye. Like never.
I'll take it as is. I'll take that.
Everything was against it. But
I'll take that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then having you guys win right after, I was driving back from Minnesota, had like the game, very illegal, had the game like playing on my phone. Yeah, it was just, it was awesome.
That's love. But all right. I think that pretty much covers it. We don't want to take too much of your time. I feel like we could keep going, but
we could keep going forever.
We could keep going. We could just keep talking, but thank you so much.
My other favorite player, McKenna Warnock.
Oh,
we didn't cover McKenna.
We didn't cover
best. Hezzy going right, dude.
Best podcasters in the game.
You're a fan of us now?
I'm a big fan.
Okay, we got to have you back. Like, we want to have you back on another. Like, you should come on. Either if we can get, I want to get Coach J, Coach Bluder. Caitlin's gonna do an episode. Like I want to get more people. Let's get the crew and let's have it because we got another mic. Yeah. So
and now after the Kate Martin talk, we gotta get Kate on.
No, we should have had Kate with you and did like a long episode.
If you were to do a roommate a roommate who knows each other best, like Kate and I would win it. No problem. Like
you could do. We'll have Kate on. Yeah. And you come back.
Yeah.
And we'll have whiteboards and like ask questions. And
Kate and I are killing it. You and Kate
will go against me and Patrick.
Oh yeah, that would actually be really fun.
That's gonna be that'll be a good matchup.
Joey's into that out there.
Let's do it. I'm so confident in Kate and I too. You guys gotta ask some like obscure questions too. Yeah. Like we're not talking favorite color. We're talking like childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
in. Yeah. I'm in.
Let's do it. I'm so down.
I'm already thinking of the questions. Yeah. Like I got them flowing.
It'll be awesome.
Like go-to pregame songs.
Oh, Kate knows mine.
Like
can't tell you.
You can tell us.
It's got to be something by 2 Chainz.
Oh, I'll give you one more guess and just think I'm a girl. I'm a girl in my 20s. Like really.
Cardi B.
No, it's a guy.
It's a guy. Oh, I was gonna say
Jack Harlow.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Jack Harlow. Brand new whip, just had it.
No, I think Rendezvous by Jack Harlow is my
That's your go-to?
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Jack Harlow's that dude.
He's
I'm a Meek Mill guy.
Except, if I'm being honest, have you guys listened to his new song?
Yeah. Did you like it? First Class.
You didn't like it?
Okay, guys, I like the chorus, but he could have done so much more with it.
That's true.
It became emotional. Like, why did it need to go emotional?
No, he did so much when he dropped the clip.
Yeah.
Like, there was almost too much anticipation.
So I saw TikTok, they're like, did we rush him? Like, I was like, oh,
it wasn't ready.
It's like every Drake album, like where they talk about it for so long, and then he drops it, and everybody's like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah. Dude, no, we'll have to get Kate on.
No, that'd be awesome.
Easy on the Drake.
Easy on the Drake slander.
Easy on the Drake slander.
Well, no.
Right, when you're in my presence.
I love Drake. I was not. There's no Drake slander on my part. It's what other people say.
All right. So next, I think we have our next 2 guests scheduled already.
All right.
And then we're gonna have like either a Coach Jay or Kate. Like I want to have them as like the next 2.
Let's do it.
And that range or Coach Bluder if she would like.
I could just pop in for a special appearance too.
You should. We're gonna have. Yeah, we want to have a lot of special guests coming in.
You could do because Kate and Coach Jay are related.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. You can bring. We'll have Kate. We could have a Kate and Coach Jay, and you come in and you ask a question as a fan.
Oh yeah.
You stand in the door and you bring questions. Coach Jay, why don't you let me shoot threes?
Yeah, I think we do it. I think we do it.
Why can't I dribble?
Coach Jay, what's your least favorite trait about Monika?
Real quick. I can't believe we didn't cover that.
The dribbling.
Oh
really quick. What is up? You never dribble. Never dribble.
Never dribble. And I just remember, like, Megan never dribbled. I just knew I wasn't going to be able to dribble. And I never have. If I dribble, it's immediately shown on film. It's tagged. Every once in a while, I'll get off with it. Like, and lately, I've been getting off with it more and more because people guard, because they know I'm not going to dribble. So they'll, like, be all up in my grill. But, yeah, it's just, it's a thing. I think a lot of times she knows we're going to be good. So she's like, I don't want you to dribble. And then the double comes and you get stripped every time. Like, it takes too long. Half of it, the reason that Iowa posts are good is because we're so quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's never been an option as a thing. Like, people ask me about it and I'm like, never thought of it. Like,
not allowed. Sorry.
Yeah, not allowed. Sorry.
What's dribbling?
But we need to implement threes.
Yeah.
That's next.
That's the next
year.
Step.
That's your summer project.
Yeah.
And
I got that.
That is what will really, if you start picking and popping with Caitlin, because then they can't blitz her, they can't dog her off of ball screens. Yeah. If you can pick and pop, I like where things are going, and I'm gonna bring that up with Coach Jay. I'm gonna be like, I don't know, I'll draw up a couple. I got some X's and O's.
Just leave it up to me. I got it.
Patrick's got it.
Okay, he's got his Twitter account.
Dude, I know exactly. Well, Monika, thank you so much. This was great. Really appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Went by really quick.
Yeah.
Can't believe we're already way over an hour now, probably.
That's okay.
No, thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll see you around Carver.
See ya.
All right. That's gonna do it. And as we wrap up, we're gonna have one more word from our sponsors.
Are you looking for a unique educational experience or a distinctive marketing piece? How about your very own barrel of whiskey? Iowa-based Foundry Distilling Company is the industry leader in producing custom whiskey at their site, myprivatebarrel.com. Foundry has worked with individuals, businesses, groups of friends, social clubs, bars and restaurants, and charitable organizations to produce custom labeled spirits for marketing purposes, fundraising, celebrating milestones, or just for fun. Check out myprivatebarrel.com to get started. Enjoy a memorable experience, receive a great whiskey education, and create a custom labeled spirit that celebrates you, your business, or whatever you feel like toasting to. Get started at myprivatebarrel.com. That's myprivatebarrel.com. Cheers and go Hawks.
The Summit Bar and Grill has the best DJs in Iowa City. They routinely bring in DJs from all over the US and Europe, and we have one of their very own working with us here at the pod.
Shout out Marcos, man.
And he's the man. He's the man. This is definitely the place to be after a big win. Definitely going to catch some of us there. Summit, they also just dropped a new food menu. They serve food Tuesday through Saturday starting at noon. The homemade fried chicken sandwich is out of this world. But again, just want to emphasize, it is a great place to go after big wins, and mainly to do with the DJ, Marcos, our guy here, but also a lot to do with our guy Brad. He takes care of us, so shout out to him. Thank you to him.
Yo, Kono with the rebound, they got 8 seconds to go. Move the ball right up the court, yeah, you know they ready to roll. Hit the outlet, pass to Patrick, put a move on them so tragic. Yeah, you don't want no static, McCaffery boys, they be like magic. This shit back to Connor, yeah, you know these boys is hooping. Hit him with the alley, yeah, you know he straight up hooped it. Now Patrick's hanging on the rim, yeah, he's got his feet up. Excessive celebration, McCaffery boys, they done got teed up. Oh man, they got teed up.